My name is Allison Norris. Allison Norris left Englewood and went to college at Howard University. Studied to be a teacher. Came out and started teaching. Gave my life to the Lord my first year of teaching. I was 23 and was serving God and teaching, and life was going along. And I had a child. Probably when I was about 32, I had my daughter. I was in graduate school, and life was going along. Single mother, struggling, taking care of my daughter, but giving her the best of everything. Life was good. Church was good. Had a career, solid. One day I met a gentleman at church. My daughter must have been about 4 at the time. And he said to me, I want to give you a gift. I want to come by your house and bring it to you. And I thought, church rap, But he had the cutest little boy who looks at him and said, please. So because of the boy, I let him come. So I began to date this young man. Not doing what I should be doing. And I became pregnant. And we started talking about getting married. And I had a real clear, audible visitation from the Lord that said no. But I disobeyed. And one act of disobedience can have far-reaching consequences. Far-reaching. I married him. And it was a struggle to marry him. The day I was getting married, I really fought what I thought was the devil, saying, don't go down those stairs, don't do it. And I was like, I'm going. I'm not going to be, 2 children out of wedlock. I'm not doing that. That's embarrassment. I've already scorned the family name and, marred my pristine reputation. I'm in the church too. But I married him against everything in me that was screaming no. And, brought this man and his son into my home with me and my daughter. And instantaneously things started going bad. He lost his job because he didn't tell his job he got married. So when I came back from my honeymoon, he had no job. That was my fault. During my honeymoon, I was pregnant with my son. That was the second act of what I would come to be abuse. While I was dating him, he yelled at me one time, very strong, and I was scared. And I knew something then, but I ignored it. But on my honeymoon, I got pushed, like really rough, like to the point where I almost fell, and I was pregnant. So after I had my son, the abuse got worse. It went from being more than just verbal and emotional to physical. But it was always, I'm going to hit you and I'm going to hurt you in places where people can't see. Again, not working, he would get a job, he would lose a job, he would get a job, he would lose a job. So here I am, a school teacher now. I got myself, I have my daughter, I have him, his son, and my son. I'm trying to support 5 people on a teacher's salary. And I have my house. It was my home that I had 5 years before I met him. Well, needless to say, all the bills got out of control. I didn't realize he was pilfering money out the account. Helped him start a business. Got rid of my car to get him a big truck. Helped him start his business, and he wasn't working. The business, I think, was a front. He would do a few odd jobs here and there, but no money was coming in. And the bills were piling up. Finally, my house went into foreclosure. And I lived like that for a couple of years. And I finally, on my 3rd year of marriage, said, you have to get out. In the interim, our children saw me being abused physically. and verbally and emotionally. And my daughter was also a victim of not physical but verbal and emotional abuse. He did make his son hit her. They're the same age, they were just kids. Multiple police visits. But I wore it. No one ever saw it at work. No one ever knew. We'd go to church, we were both in ministry. I was in the choir and he was teaching children's church. We would go suited up, dressed to the nine, a big smile on our face, and I might go home and get beat up, I don't know. So I paraded, masqueraded, and never told anybody. I didn't seek out help. It wasn't until one day when my shoulder was dislocated that my daughter went to my father and told him. She says, my daddy hits my mommy all the time, and he hurt her. That was the first time it was let out. So my father didn't threaten him, but said, I've never laid a hand on my daughter. I'm not going to let anyone lay a hand on her. So he really told me I had to get rid of him. I tried to go to the police. You're married. It's just a spat. The last time the police were called, they said, if we come to this house one more time, one of you is going out. So I finally got up the nerve after praying. And because I didn't believe in divorce, I got up the nerve to tell him he had to leave. I had at that point hid the title and the keys to one of the cars because I was going to sell it so I could get the house out of foreclosure and try to get the bills squared away. It was June. I'm a school teacher, so school was ending, and I was about to go into my 8-week run of no pay. And of course, everything is on me. I'm running the household. He said no, he wasn't going anywhere. And of course, that became, I had to pay for that, so he hurt me. And I kept saying, you gotta go, you gotta go. And it was one last night, he got right in my face and he said, are you sure you want me to go? And I had to muster up every ounce of courage, and I just looked him square in the eye and I said, yes, you got 30 days now to get out. You can leave your son here. I'll take care of him over the summer. I'll sell the car, everything will be squared away. And when you get yourself settled, you come get him. Well, the next day he asked me to borrow my car while I was at work. I was like, whatever. It was June, I was packing up the classroom. It was the last few days of school. And I left work late. It was like about 5:45, 6 o'clock. My daughter was in my school, so she was there at the after-school program. So we went to the daycare to get the baby. He hadn't let his son go to school that day. His son was also in my school. He kept him home for whatever reason that day. I didn't question it because, our relationship was... When I got home, the car that I was intending to sell was gone. So I'm like, oh my God, because that was my money. I walked into the house, I told the kids, just go into the den and watch the TV. My son was 2. He comes outside, Mommy, there's no TV. What do you mean there's no TV? I go inside, television is gone, furniture's gone. I'm looking around, air conditioner's gone, the bedroom set's gone, my son's bedroom set's gone, other furniture's gone. I go online and check my bank account, my money's gone. And I got 8 weeks of no pay. Everything was gone. I called the police to report the car stolen and all this stuff, and they said there was nothing they could do. I'm married. I'm like, what do you mean? It's all in my name. It's my stuff. Well, no, not if you're married. It's his too. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I had to rely on people to get me through. And I divorced him. He tried to come back. he left, and he left a note, and I kept the note, and I wrote down everything that he took, intending to give it to the police, but they didn't even want it. The next day was a family fun day at my son's daycare. While I was there, I got a phone call on my cell phone. It was a judge calling from the bench, telling me I had 1 hour to appear in court, and my husband is there talking about he's homeless and he wanted to come back home. I was like, what? And I said, well, I'm at my son's family. She goes, I don't care where you are. I'm ordering you to be in court in 1 hour. So I have to leave him there, call my girlfriends and just stay here with the baby. At this cookout, all these families are there, I have to leave. I show up in court. I brought the stuff with me. I went home and I got that letter that he wrote, and I got the list of stuff that he took. And I sat there, and I couldn't believe I was sitting there going through this. And when it was my time to speak, I said, Your Honor, he's not homeless. There's no way he could be. Here's a letter that he wrote, and here's a list of all the things that he took. And I said, where is all the stuff? If he's homeless, he's got to have somewhere to put it. He planned this out. This wasn't just a fleeting thought. So she looked at him and she says, is this true? You were under oath. And he admitted to it, and she says, motion denied. You don't have to go back to her house. But when I tell you, God has kept me and sustained me through all of that. And I'm still struggling because, like I said, it has far-reaching consequences. Because right after that, our budget fails in our school district. It doesn't pass, and I went on a 4-year salary freeze. I held on to my house for about 5 or 6 years. After that, I finally lost it. And it's just been a journey. But yet and still, God is a keeper. He has kept me. And I know just by this moment right here that I'm one step away from walking out of my wilderness and into my promised land. And God is going to restore everything that was taken from me. He's got a plan for me. He promised me a husband back in my 20s. Well, that wasn't him. So I still have one coming. He promised me a beautiful home. It was not my home because I lost it. And where I'm living now, I'm renting, so I know my home is coming. And I have my beautiful children. I have them, and they're fine. And we're working through everything. And He's just put me in a place where I just know that He's real, He's faithful, and He's going to do exactly what He said He's going to do. So I hope my story helped somebody. You don't have to stay in an abusive marriage if the church tells you no. My pastor sent us to marriage counseling, and it was the marriage counselor who said to me, I don't condone divorce. I don't believe in divorce. This ministry I had was a Christian psychologist. It was for helping people with premarital counseling and male and female coaching. It was never about that. It was to help us to mend it. He says, I'm telling you about the Holy Ghost. Get a divorce and change your name back. So it took that for me to say, okay, I'm going to do it. You don't have to stay in it. You don't have to stay in that unless God says so. I sought Him, and that's what I say. Whatever situation you're in, seek God. Seek His guidance. He will answer, but obey. One act of disobedience can have far-reaching consequences. That's my story.